from the standpoint of the game, and just that one hurts, and all of them do, and it doesn't go your way. But just obviously the emphasis we put on the rivalry game, and then just the way it happened. That's where that's the disappointing thing, where you just don't execute well, you don't play well in terms of you miss a field goal, you get 2 extra points blocked, you don't get a stop in the fourth quarter. They continuously obviously drove the ball in the second half. You had to have the ability to to get stops and then sustain drives, and I didn't feel like we sustained drives offensively. And I mean, we didn't. You can see here we were 2 of 9 on third down. They were 7 of 14, and that was something that we talked about going into the game. And so another big part of it was to force field goals in the red zone. And the nice thing is our offense was 3 for 3 in scoring, but they were 4 for 4. And again, that if you force one field goal in one of those drives, you win the game. And so it's one of those situations, one of those games where it's hard because you try to communicate, you try to share with the players how you're feeling, and obviously they're feeling the same way. And I don't know a lot of good that's going to come from trying to figure it, necessarily sit there and talk it out at this point. What we need to do is watch a film and then be very critical of ourselves when we watch the film, and that's as coaches first and foremost, and then as players. And the silver lining is like we can still control our fate in terms of the PFL. Now, that being said, I mean, I think that's kind of a mood statement at this point in time, and the reality is we just need to learn from what we didn't do well in this game, and then have the ability to go down to Morehead State, a team that we haven't played well since I've been here. And so that will be a challenge in itself, and I think that's where our focus needs to be moving forward.
In terms of losses, they all feel bad, but is this one of the more gutting losses you had in your time at Valpo? Do you think about it from that perspective?
I guess you put so much time as players, and we put so much time as a coaching staff. All of them hurt, every loss. So I don't know if you can sit there and rank them, but it is a game that obviously we put a lot of emphasis on. A Hoosier helmet game for in-state rivals. So that part of it's big, and the one thing that I shared with the team, and I firmly believe is, after the game, you sit there and you watch them take the helmet, because that's the reality of the situation, and I think that brings meaning to the trophy. Like, if you don't want that to happen, then we have to have the ability to put the players in position to be successful, and then they have to go out and execute. And so, it's just, I think it hurts when you watch that, but that's what you want it to do, because that's what drives you to be successful as a coach, as a player, in whatever you're trying to do.
Mason, can you just kind of take me through the last play, the last drive? What did you see on that play? What were you trying to accomplish on that drive?
We were in a 2-minute situation, so trying to get down the field, put ourselves in position to score. On that certain play, we had no timeouts left, so can't take a sack. I'm really just gonna have to look back on film and watch it and see what I could have done better, and learn from it. That's really all I can do now about it. Just learn from it, get better, and I promise you that that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna watch the tape. We're gonna get better, and that's the only thing we can do right now.
Max, kind of what were they doing differently in the fourth quarter? They started to put together some longer drives, it felt like.
Yeah, I don't want to say they were doing a whole lot different. They kind of had I don't want to say easy scheme, but we kind of practiced well throughout the week, so we knew what they were going to do. A lot of quarterback power. They're running the quarterback quite a bit. And I think we just need to get a few stops there at the end, and we obviously didn't do that. So, like Mason said, just watch it, learn from it, and just keep pounding going into next week. Yep.
Landon, was field goal an option on as you were coming down to the end?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what that's kind of where my mindset was. Obviously, if we can score in that situation, great. But that's where my mind went. And we were right there, right on the fringe.
Yeah, was there a number in mind of 33, 32, 31 yard line you were aiming for?
I think, to me, I guess part of that would maybe been dictated by the field, like where you're at, and because the one thing we had to do is we had to make sure that we were getting first down. So that was kind of dictated on just where that first down came from, and so. But we moved the ball, nicely down in the 2 minute and put ourselves in a position to get the field goal or even score touchdowns.
Again, silver lining, Max played really well. Can you just comment on what Max brought early going in this game?
Yeah, in terms of him playing well, to me that is not a surprise, and he was played very well in fall camp, and then you probably saw him try to be out there first couple games with this big club on his hand trying to take on blocks, and had a couple good games, but obviously it was challenging for him to be an edge guy and not use his hands, and very good football player. The thing that I like about him and a number of guys that we have on this team is he's a guy that's going to compete, and so when you have that and you have the ability just to keep going and keep going and keep going, that persistence that we talk about is one of our core values in our program. You're going to have a chance to be successful, and it goes back to what Mason said too, and I appreciate what these guys say, and to me it's what football's about in the long run. Is we talk about attitude, and Sunday is attitude, core value, and you say that because the reality is this, we say, hey, so what, now what? Like, hey, so this happened, now what are we going to do? And we can't turn back time, and we'd like to, but that doesn't work. And so you do only have one string to pull on, and that is your attitude. And what are we going to do moving forward? Are we going to sit here and sulk and feel sorry for ourselves, or are we going to find a way to get better and move forward?
Mason, did you watch the celebration at all from Butler? Did you just kind of what Coach was talking about? Can you kind of just take us through kind of the emotions of what it means as a Valpo football player to watch that and come back in the locker room and move forward from this?
Yes, sir. We all turned and watched it, and really what that does is just it drives you to work harder. And like whenever there's times, and in the summer maybe you're should I get this extra rep? Should I do this extra rep? You think back to that time where, hey, I watched that happen. That's going to drive me and drive the team to work harder, get better from this. And it's just that's all it's going to do. And we all watched it. Obviously, it doesn't feel good. That's not the result we wanted. But I think I know we're gonna get a lot better from this, and keep making strides forward. So.
And Landon, my final question is, not only did miss extra points, but you had a couple kickoff return issues. Is it as simple as saying clean up some of the special team stuff, and offense and defense did a lot of plays they were supposed to do?
Yeah, I would say all the way around, but yeah, those are when you talk about a third of the game. This is reality. Now you see it and how important that is, and that's where you say, hey, does it hurt, this and that? If you would ask the players, and obviously me as the coach telling you this, but we put as much time in special teams as anybody in the country, and that's not you hear that kind of a lot in terms of lip service, and that's the coach talk. But the reality is we put a lot of time into the kicking game, and so those are things when you say it hurt, yeah, it hurts because you can't have those kind of mistakes in a game that's going to come down to the end. You have to perform at a higher level.